Neanderthals are known to have characteristic shape in their trunks. Were they born that way, or did they grow them as they grew older? Today's paper asks that question. Hi, I'm Sang-Hee Lee, Department of Anthropology at University of California, Riverside. Welcome to my channel, talking about human evolution. Please subscribe and like the videos and ask me questions in the comments below. Set your alarm for new video updates. So I got this news flash about new research about Neanderthal trunks. Let's take a look. Neanderthal babies had stocky chests like their parents. Our evolutionary relatives may have inherited short, deep rib cages from their ancestors. And here is a picture of a Neanderthal baby and the reconstruction of Neanderthal rib cages of Neanderthal children. So I thought I'm going to take a look, and here's the paper. The paper was published in Science Advances on October 7th, 2020, very recently. And like many scientific papers, if you read the title carefully, you know what the point they're trying to make. Early development of the Neanderthal ribcage reveals a different body shape at birth compared to modern humans. And the first author is Daniel Garcia Martinez, leading a group of scientists from France, Spain, Russia, Japan, and Switzerland. Let's take a look at the abstract. So when compared to that of modern humans, adult Neanderthal thorax, which is the rib cage, is shorter, deeper, and wider. And that's probably due to the hypothetical large requirements for energy and oxygen. We know that Neanderthals had bigger brains on average and stockier body build on average. Although they were shorter on height on average, but they were much more muscular. The fact that they had bigger brains and more muscles means that they needed more energy to maintain and run those energy expensive organs. And in order to do that, they better have good lungs and good heart. And we think that the Neanderthal ribcage shape has to do with a super duper lung capacity, critical in surviving in the glacial Europe age. The researchers reconstructed using 3D morphology, digitally reconstructing the rib cages of 4 Neanderthal kids from birth to around 3 years old. So these are really small kids. Mesmaiskaya, like 1 to 2 weeks old, Lumustier, Dederia 1, and Rakhtamalsal, which is the oldest of these 4, around 2.5 years old. So these are really infants. And they conclude that these newborns and young children were already different from the modern humans when they compared them to 29 other modern human kids of comparable ages. So that's the conclusion, but I want to draw your attention to how they came to this conclusion. I think it's really neat what they did. This is how they reconstructed virtually. Why do they need to reconstruct virtually? Because children's skeletons do not preserve well. They don't get fossilized, they don't get preserved because they are fragile and small. And of those fragile and small children's skeletons, the rib cage is even more fragile and even smaller. So what that means is that each individual will have differently preserved elements. This child may have left first rib, the other child may have right first rib, and it's not easy to compare different size and different rib bones. So what the researchers did was to use digital technology to reconstruct using the mirror image so that you could compare, even if different sides are preserved, that you could compare different individuals. And for missing data, they also used statistical estimation to fill in the missing data. So they did that for 4 Neanderthal kids and measured 524 measurements from those digitally reconstructed rib cages and came up with one number that was summarized 524 measurements that they called the centroid size. The higher you go up on the y-axis of the centroid size, that means you're bigger. And x-axis is age, the days. So 200 days, 400 days, up to 1600 days, pretty much 4 years old. Right? What they noticed was that at time of birth, Neanderthals, the red ones, were already larger than the modern human. Up until 100 days or so, they grow about the same rate. But after 100 days, Neanderthals will grow faster, achieving larger centroid size than the modern humans, who grow a little bit more slow. That's it. That's the gist of their research. Notably, however, the Neanderthal rib cage is not characteristic of Neanderthals only. In fact, the Neanderthal rib cage is an ancestral form that continued from the earlier ancestors like the Homo erectus during Middle Pleistocene. Therefore, really the interesting question is not necessarily why do Neanderthals have these kind of rib cages, but vice versa. That is, why do modern humans have a different shaped rib cage? That would be the actually interesting question to explore. Today's paper is not the end all of this question. After all, it only has 4 data points and 1 trajectory, and who knows what more data will reveal. But it is an important and interesting paper showing how can we make the most of fragmentary data to answer a very important question. Thank you for watching the video today. This is Human Evolution Channel. Please subscribe and like the videos. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments section. And until next time, stay well, stay healthy, stay safe.